Good morning, everybody. It's about 4:30 in the morning. I am in the motorhome on the property of the Project to Nowhere. This motorhome's been sitting here just about since the project began. It's a 37-foot motorhome. It's an old one. I bought it used from a colonel in Dothan, Alabama, actually Enterprise, Alabama, at Fort Rucker, Alabama, home of Army Aviation. If you fly a helicopter for the Army, you learn to fly it at Fort Rucker. I moved it here, and the purpose of it was a self-sufficient domicile. When I was looking at the requirements for that, the quickest and easiest thing was just to get a motorhome. It has a generator, it has onboard water systems, it has onboard sewage systems. So for a self-sufficient place to live, it worked fine. It would sleep six. You could sleep eight, but it sleeps six comfortably, and there were only going to be four people that needed to use it. It has worked out well. It has been used for several different things. But this morning, I slept here last night, and so that's where this is coming from this morning. Check the weather report. We are going to have 2 weeks at least of completely dry weather, humidity in the below 50%, which is very unusual for the southeast. Um, the chances of an afternoon or evening thunderstorm are not that great, and it is going to be hot. So that is the bad news. The good news is it's great for growing if you have water. And when I started this project several years ago, one of the first things that I did was drill an irrigation well. It was funny. The guy came out, and I don't know if you believe in dowsing or that type of thing, or water divining or that type of thing. Every well on this property, since we bought it in 1893, or it was acquired in 1893, has been found by somebody using one dowsing method or another. Generally, the twig from a fruit bearing tree, and this irrigation well was found the same way. A guy came out. I had some guys from Atlanta putting up one of the pole barns while he was doing it, and he's walking the property, and I literally saw this branch bending. I mean, this was not him just pointing the stick to the ground. There was something physically acting upon this twig, and it was more than a twig. It was substantial, and he followed a vein of water, and then he said, "Well, I've intersected two, and I think there's a third one." And he went some more, and when he was saying he was hitting over water, the twig was responding, and he just kicked a little thing in the dirt with his foot and said, "This is where you want to drill." And he says, Is this where you want your well?" And I said, "Well, I want the well where the water is." And he said, "Well, here's where the water is. We'll hit three springs on the way down." And I said, "Okay, drill on." And he did. It's 27 gallons a minute coming into this well. It's 260 feet deep, and it's got 140 feet of water in it. And I can pump on that water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it never runs out. So I have a really good, strong irrigation well. The thing about irrigation is you can it will do the trick. It will do the trick, but it only does the trick in a specific area, and only if you can consistently get the water to it. So it makes farming far more difficult. It makes it more certain, but it makes it more difficult unless you have the big, big irrigation systems that have the automatic pumps and all that kind of thing. I don't have that. What I have to do is uh, move, my sprinkler heads around and that type of thing. I can put them on, which I haven't done in the past, but I might do this year. Is get them elevated a little more and put them on top of a 10-foot section of 1 inch pipe and elevate them. I've been using just your standard tripod sprinkler head, and does an effective job, and it'll get the water out there. But also the flow on those is not as great as some of the larger equipment. But I'm forced into it this year. The garden is doing well. I watered it yesterday. and they really responded to that. I did get the new sorghum seed in yesterday. I'll have to start those sorghum seed in small containers and then just transplant them. There's no way that I can throw enough water on those seeds consistently to get them to germinate in this heat. Just the water just won't stay on that long enough. So that's the way I'm going to have to do that. It's that one, again, labor intensive, but you have to adjust, and that's what this is all about. If this were an actual self-sufficiency type of situation where it was absolutely necessary, then that's what you have to do. So the thing about doing the proof of concepts are you learn these types of things so that when this happens, um, you're prepared to respond, and and being prepared to respond is being responsible. I always like to say the ability to respond. Being responsible is the ability to respond. Having the authority, responsibility, accountability. If I have the authority, which I do, to decide to use irrigation, which I am, and I am able to do that. I have the equipment and the expertise to do that. Then I'm able to respond, and then I will be held accountable for the result. If I make a crop, then I make a crop, and if I don't make a crop, then then I did not do something along the way. Had I not prepared, did I not? If I had, had I not drilled a well, had I not purchased the irrigation equipment, then I wouldn't be able to respond. Yes, I have the authority; I can do it. But if I don't have the ability to do it, then I really can't be held accountable. And I use that in all of my management over the years in project management and program management. I always tried to give people the authority to act, delegate authority. You can't keep all the authority to yourself. Delegate authority appropriately. Give people the resources, the manpower, the labor force, the materials, the equipment to respond, so that they're able to respond. They are responsible, and then I could hold them accountable. Holding somebody accountable for things for which they have no authority and no ability to respond is you can do it, but it's just frustrating and it's not going to be effective. So, authority, responsibility, accountability. And looks like I'm going to be accountable for getting the water to the plants for at least the next couple of weeks. And if I could just keep them, when you irrigate, if you just keep them alive till you can get some rain, it is amazing how much different just a good, solid, day of rain, how much better that is in producing plants and keeping things growing and going than all the irrigation you can do. So rain is good, but we're not going to have any. So I have to do what I have to do. Um, that's about it. It's like I say, it's early in the morning. I really like being here in the morning to get started. It's a lot different if I'm say at Peter Street or trying to come out here and get started. That was the whole problem with the project from its inception is not actually being here. And I really like to wake up here, walk out the door, and be able to get started. It just makes a whole difference. You get another 25% of your day just by being there. As a matter of fact, success I've heard is just dressing up and showing up. You show up prepared to go, and there you have it. Persistence and determination that gets the job done, and stay to the end. And I have found that when I do that, I am successful. And if I don't do that, then I'm not successful because I don't finish, and all of the effort it was not wasted per se for that project. It was, but you learn something for the next time, so that perhaps you'll be more successful. So anyway, looking forward to a good day. It is getting hot. It's getting in the 90s every day now, so you have to kind of work around the sun. And that's not just being a wimp. That's being smart. That's being so that you can conserve your energy because it can draw it out of you. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm looking forward to mine, and we'll talk to y'all later. See you. Bye.